What's up, EDCers? This is your man GrayManEDCReviews, coming at you with a knife review real quick here. First off, I wanted to go ahead and maybe talk about the Spotlight EDC accessory for the video today, and it's going to be Blackbeard fire starters. Essentially what it is you can actually go to their site, and you can find the information in the description at the bottom of the video here. But you can go to their site and order a tube of their Blackbeard fire starters. And you know, as I talked about in my very first video, you know, EDC is something that's relatively new to me. I've been you know, I've carried a firearm for quite some time, but you know, as far as like everyday carry and getting accessories and things that I needed to have on me, you know, all day, and in times of crisis, and being able to execute and be prepared for anything that happens. You know, one of the things I kind of thought that I might need in my, you know, shit hits the fan or bug out bag would be some sort of fire starter that would start or help me start a fire if I was somewhere and needed to be able to start a fire and didn't really have really good tinder or anything like that. So I think this is going to be a great thing. So I'm actually probably end up doing a video testing this stuff out. I think it's pretty cool. From what I read, it's supposed to be like windproof, waterproof. Doesn't really give off much of a smell, and it would actually last for quite some time. So be on the lookout for that video on me testing out this product. But pretty exciting, and you guys stay tuned for that. So today what I would like to do is kind of go over a pocket knife that I had purchased here. I actually have quite a few that I end up doing a video around, but the first one that we're going to end up doing a video around for this video will be a Petrified fish knife, which is actually, like, with me getting into EDC and starting to really like start to build my collection around my EDC knives and other accessories. Petrified Fish is one brand that I've seen on tons of videos for other people that do these type of videos and reviews, that is a very good quality knife. You know, I'm starting to really dive into the information around EDC and specifically knives, and you know, the different ratings of the knives and the different classifications and price ranges and things of that nature. Currently, I'm not really getting up into that higher range of cost. I know sometimes these knives can be $300,000 or more. I'm kind of going to stick in that, you know, $50, $100 range, catering to people that might be just now getting into, you know, gaining interest into EDC like I am, that don't necessarily want to spend, you know, hundreds of dollars on one knife, but you might want to be able to have, you know, multiple different knives that you can put into your collection and maybe accessorize a little bit, and you know, have something that you can kind of pick from on a daily basis. But let's go ahead and get into the knife. So one thing I would like to do on these reviews is basically start off with a knife that I would use to open a box or anything of that nature, but it'd be kind of like, you know, like the knife that I kind of spotlight also for opening up the knife that I'm going to go over in the review. And that knife is actually a Petrified fish knife. So this is, I can't remember if it was the first knife that I bought when I got into EDC. Actually, now that I think about it, it's not. I think the first knife I got was a very cheap knife. I think it might have been one I got at a flea market. It was definitely a flip knife. Not that well put together type of knife that I had initially, but this was the first one that I was like, all right, I'm going to go out and spend, you know, 50, 60 bucks on a knife and get something that's really good. And it was like right after me starting to watch a lot of those Petrified fish reviews. So I actually ended up getting this Petrified fish knife, which is really nice knife. Not that big. One of my favorite colors that you guys will probably start to notice, you know, as I start to go over and do reviews on knives, is that I'm really into the color blue. So blue, green, and maybe like a coyote brown or tan is always going to catch my eye when I'm looking at knives. But so the Spotlight knife that I'm going to be taking a look at today is, like I said, another Petrified fish knife, fancy folding knife that comes from their site. I'm trying to think of what the actual name of this one was. I can't remember if they didn't have actual names when they started out with these. I think this might have been one of the first ones they had, but it is a very difficult one to find now. Like, I think I went on there and the price range of it was like 35 bucks back when I was buying it. And I remember going onto the site maybe about 2 weeks ago, and like it is selling out like crazy. But I believe the code is the PF919, but it's a really good knife. So go out and take a look at it. Not necessarily going to do like a review on this one, given that is one that's already out of the box and everything. But as you can see, it's definitely like a really good knife. Centered perfectly, got your clip there. And then, you know, open it up, really nice blade on there. As you can see, it's definitely been used. I keep it in pretty good condition, but I really like the shape of this knife and the way it looks and the presentation of the knife and everything. And you know, it's very sturdy, centered very well. The weight on it is good. So let's get into it and go ahead and get into what we're going to look at today. So here we go. Put that one away. And look at that. The thing about Petrified fish that I really like is that when you buy their knives, I don't know that you always get one of these cloths in there, but they always send you like some extra screws and things of that nature. And then, you know, it's always good to have a cloth, even though I don't think I'll always keep these on me. But back when I want to go back and I want to touch up the knife or clean it up or anything like that, these do come in handy. So today we're going to take a look at the Petrified fish Havrog. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that terribly.
So like, listen, Layla,
Lala,
whatever.
But I am terrible at pronouncing words, but it's the Havrog. You'll see that into the description, Havrog, and the code number is PFP04. Now this one, I think you can still get your hands on this one if you wanted to go onto the website. Last time I checked, they still had some in stock or whatnot. So this isn't going to be one that's going to be too hard to get your hands on, but it is relatively new in regards to the models that have recently come out. So let's go ahead and put these things away. My extra screws, my cloth, put those things to the side, and then take a look at what we have here. So Petrified fish always give you this tag that comes with it. Like I said, really nice brand, really nice looking knives and things of that nature. But they normally give this tag here that comes with it or whatnot, but we'll go ahead and take that off. Don't need that anymore, right?
I have no feelings about you one way or the other. You're like lint or a bottle cap. You're just a thing to remove.
So, and cut that off. And now we have a really nice looking knife, right? So, color on it is a brown, or you might want to call that a tan. And I kind of see here where, I don't know if that's from where it's just, you know, been sitting in the box or what.
What the fuck is that?
But I can see how it's kind of two-tone here, if you can see that. I had to check back on the page to see if that's how it should be coming to me or not, but not that big of a deal to me. I mean, when I'm going to be holding it and things of that nature, it's probably going to start to fade out a little bit anyhow, but I wonder what that comes from. And it might be the fact that, you know, this is a micarta type of material on the handle there. If you take a look at it, maybe that's why it's starting to fade there a little bit. But that's fine for me. And as far as a price point for this knife comes in at about $54 currently on the site, even though I bought it maybe about a month and a half ago. But I remember checking maybe recently, and it was only like 54 bucks. And this one would be your brown micarta model that is on the site. So let's see, let's take a look at the knife here. So let's first go towards and just give you a nice little 360 all around view of the knife, the clip, things of that nature, so you can just see it. But it's a really nice knife. I really like the way it looks. I haven't actually held or anything, given this is an open the box review, but I'm very excited to pop this thing open and actually take a look at it once we get to that part. But back area looks like here, the blade does seem to be very centered. That's the good thing about petrified fish. Like, they're very centered on their blades when they are closed, and even when you open them up, you do have this spacing here that, to me, like, I really like this. Like, even on the Spotlight petrified model that I was using, or using to open the box earlier in the video, I really like this backspace in here, and it's very flush, you know, and it's not catchy, nothing, the metal here isn't catching my finger or anything of that nature. And then you have the micarta here that looks to be a little bit sand down, so it's very smooth here, and it comes around to the bottom of the knife and still the same way, right? And so I really like that. And just the overall feel of the knife is really nice. So if we go back to looking at the knife here, and we're looking at the bearings on here do appear to be ceramic, so that's pretty consistent with a lot of the petrified fish knives that I have been reviewing and taking a look at. But let's go ahead and take a look at next here, the pocket clip type. So pocket clip type here is I want to say it's like a covered steel here. It's very actually kind of small. Like, it's very not a lot of room in there for when you put it into your pants pocket and things like that. So if you have those very thick pants pockets, it might not work out very good, or it might pop out a little bit. I do kind of like the screws, like the way that they have the screws here. They're flush. You don't feel those, you know. If you rub your hand across there, it's only two. It is not reversible, which is something that I always would like to have, but depends on the knife too and what I'm using it for. And as you can see, where you would use those extra screws and things of that nature. Let's see here. So let's take a look at that lanyard hole. We also have that also here, which is always good. I don't typically use a lanyard on my knives, but some people do, and to make sure that they can, you know, wrap it around something and make sure it doesn't get lost or anything of that nature, which is relatively cool, right? So let's go ahead and let's look at the blade. So let's go ahead and pop this bad boy open. As you can see, the opening type here is a thumb stud. I'm kind of liking the designs and things that they have on there. It's really cool look. I would say that the stud here has more of a red and black type of tone to it, which adds a little bit of flair. I mean, I can go either way with it. Rather, I would have wanted it to be the same color as the handle or not, but I think it adds a little flair to it with it being a different color. But let's go ahead and open this knife and see how that how it opens up and things of that nature. But open it up there with that thumb stud, take a look at that blade. Like, that blade is just beautiful, isn't it? That's another thing that I really like about Petrified fish, is they come with like so many different blade types, like depending on which one you get. But this blade type, I think you would classify this as a drop point blade shape type, which is really nice, and comes with a lot of the smaller length blades. And looks like here the metal, or the blade metal here would be, or blade treatment, I think they would technically call it, would be the stone wash, which is also really nice. Really good look on there. The blade length on this knife is 3.15 inches or 80 millimeters. The locking mechanism that they have on this knife, as you can see, is right here, which is pretty consistent on a lot of Petrified fish knives, is the liner lock. So with the liner lock, basically there's a lock here that pops up under there to hold it in place when you open it up, and to close it you just push that down and to close it down. But let's look at how easily it can close. Like, that's another big thing to me, is like, how easy can I get this thing to close after I release it? And that's actually pretty good, I have to say. Like, sometimes, especially in the cheaper knives when I first started, like, I could not do that with that cheaper knife that I used to have. Like, I go to close that thing and I definitely would have to bring my hand to help that thing close. But this one, you just give it a few shakes and boom, it's closing up all by itself. So let's go to out of the box sharpness. So let me actually grab something real fast. I think that'd be good. So another thing I like to do is do out of the box sharpness, just to see. And of course, people can do their own sharpening of the knives and things of that nature when they get them. But I like to just see from a manufacturer standpoint, how good do they go about with the sharpening of the knives. And what you start to see is, I like to score them. I'm going to score it based on a 1 through 5 scale, and I normally align that with I like to score them with a 1 through 5 scale. So let's just use some regular printing paper here, just to see how good this bad boy cuts coming out. And as you can see, like, hey, pretty good, right? Like, can't be mad at that whatsoever. We don't even need to go any deeper than that. But if a knife is that sharp coming out of the box, I would say that you could be pretty happy with it. All right, so let's jump on over to our more deeper specifications. So one thing that I'm going to like to do is what I like to call quick specifications. So let's jump on in here and get the weight of this bad boy. Let's zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. So we're going to go ahead and grab the weight on it. And so we've zeroed out there. So we're going to go ahead, I like to open them up when I put it in there just in case. But looks like we got here, it's coming in at 4.4 pounds. So 4 pounds, 4 ounces. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Put that over there. And if anybody would like to see, how does this thing come in from a full, then while we give the specs, we'll go ahead and have that lined up for you there. That looks a lot better. So total length from tip to tip, I like to do that in millimeters. So that comes in at 190 millimeters. So blade shape type, like we had talked about a little bit earlier, would be your drop point. Metal type or material would be your stone washed, and the actual steel that they're using here for the Havrog is a K110 steel, which is also in alignment or also called D2 steel. Hardness, from what I saw on the site for the blade, was 59 to 60 HRC. Just went over the weight with the 4.4 pounds. And then opening type is your thumb stud lock. And the handle material is micarta. So, hopefully you guys got a lot of information out of this review. And like I said, you could go to Petrified Fish. I'll put the links into the description for you to take a look at. But really nice knives. Like, if you haven't checked them out, I would definitely check out Petrified Fish. You guys will be seeing a couple more of these reviews for this brand coming from me soon here. I am planning to maybe drop a knife review either weekly or bi-weekly, but just make sure that you put on notifications and things so you can know when my videos are coming out. I'm also going to be doing reviews on various other EDC materials, whether that be other firearms, holsters, flashlights, EDC pins, all types of things. So check me out. But one thing I do want to show you guys is, given that I am starting to do these reviews on a lot of different knives, one of the things that I did go and purchase was a Apache 3800 case. And basically what I'm going to use this case for is to store all of my knives. So I've actually gone in and already cut all of the different holes that I want to have for my knives. This is really sleek and want to come in handy. So given this is my first review, this will be the first knife that goes into the case here. And there we go. So knife number one, review number one is down. And hopefully you guys will stay tuned for following knife reviews. But like I said, all the details on the knives, the Spotlight knife, Blackbeard's fire starters, Spotlight accessory, and the details on the Harvog knife that I actually showed today. All of those details will be in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on your notifications. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you.